And I've always believed that our people are our greatest asset, and that's one of the reasons why I believe Scotland should become an independent country, because who is best placed to make decisions about the future of Scotland? And surely that has to be the people who live and work in Scotland. And with the Scottish Parliament, we already have some independence, and I would argue that that Parliament, irrespective of the political flavour of the administration in that Parliament, whether it's been as now an SNP Scottish Government, or whether, as it was, a Labour Liberal Scottish Executive, I think there are some progressive gains that we have made in Scotland through the vehicle of the Parliament with the powers of some independence. I think free education is a mark of that. Free prescriptions is something I'm particularly proud of. Free personal care, concessionary travel. We've demonstrated that even with the limited economic powers that we have, that we are beginning to punch above our weight in terms of the labour market. Our economy is strengthening, and we now have employment levels back to pre-recession levels. But of course, we don't all feel the benefit of being that rich society. We don't all feel the benefit of the economic recovery that's beginning. And that's because I would contend that at best Westminster is holding us back, and at worst I would contend that the Westminster system is actually taking us back. The political dynamic and ethos in Westminster has been one of austerity, but in Scotland, across the political divide, there has been support for investment-led recovery. In Scotland, there is a support for a wholly publicly owned national health service. And we've seen what's happening south of the border with an increasing role of private services in the National Health Service. And although our National Health Service is fully devolved in Scotland, because Westminster still controls the purse strings, there are some dangers ahead of us. And that's essentially through the Barnum formula, that public spending in England and Scotland are linked. So public spending of the NHS in England goes down, will be a corresponding impact in Scotland as well. So I would contend that at best that the holding back will continue to control the purse strings. And Scotland is one of the wealthiest and best educated countries in the world, and we have potential to achieve so much more. But it's when I think about my own 6-year-old son and Scotland's children, it's then that I think surely we must become independent. Because I look at things like welfare reform, the so-called welfare reform, and just now the Scottish Government is spending £257 million a year on mitigating the worst aspects of welfare reform. And of course, you're glad to do that because we have to intervene to help our most vulnerable citizens. But surely if we were making decisions about welfare here in Scotland in the first place, one, we wouldn't be making such bad decisions, and secondly, we wouldn't be paid twice. We already pay Westminster to deliver welfare services that have fallen back and not delivering on, so we've got to pay again twice to mitigate those bad decisions. And I think it's a mark of shame that 1 in 7 Wales in this country don't have a winter coat. And it's a mark of shame that more than 100,000 children will be pushed into poverty as a result of welfare reform. Welfare reforms that impact on women and children the greatest. And we know that there is worse still to come, because George Osborne has very openly stated that there will be £25 billion worth of cuts still to come, half of which will come from the Social Security bill. So the Scotland I seek is a Scotland that spends money on bairns, not bombs. I want to see a country where we can control energy prices. It's a scandal that in fuel-rich, oil-rich Scotland we still have pensioners choosing between fuel and food. I want to see action on the minimum wage. The minimum wage has not risen in Scotland, not kept a pace with the cost of life inflation since 2008, and if it had, 150,000 workers would be £700 better off. I want to see pensions rise with the cost of living, and we have proposed something in the white paper called the triple lock to ensure that pensions will rise by a minimum of 2.5%. And essentially, I'm seeking and looking for a Scotland that can build and create opportunities, a Scotland where we can get greater financial security for all our people. And this debate at its heart is essentially about what is our vision for Scotland, what is the Scotland we seek, what is the Scotland, what is it that we can do as a nation, and what is it that we could be. And this is a historic election, it's a historic opportunity, and I very much believe that Scotland is on a journey. We have a choice of two futures, essentially about what powers we allow others to use on our behalf and on what powers we take back and use to make decisions for ourselves. And ladies and gentlemen, I do that thing that all politicians do, and that's invariably speak too long. But I just plead to you that I very much hope that you will join on this journey and be part of that generation, irrespective of your age, be part of that generation that says yes. So thank you very much, and I look